Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Am I recording? That would be... Yes, I am. Okay, great. I am recording. And we are going to watch a video. Wow! Who knew that that's what they do? Or that's what I do. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing well. I can't complain. Today, it is Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I feel like his name should be Robert Rubio. RR. Then we could call him RR, like a pirate. He said he's ready to move on. I didn't really watch the video. I saw about a minute, if that. But I just jumped around for audio purposes. It's a quick video, but it's regarding the war. And, you know, we like to cover things that are potentially not good. Let's go take a look.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the Trump administration is ready to, quote, move on if progress is not made in peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Rubio was in Paris yesterday for talks in the war and discussed the White House's intentions if the situation is drawn out.
This guy's a deep voice.
We need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about in a matter of days, whether or not this is doable over the next few weeks. If it is, we're in. If it's not, then we have other priorities to focus on as well. I think it's important to remind everybody that the Ukraine war is a terrible thing, but it's not our war. We didn't start it. The United States has been helping Ukraine over the last 3 years, and we want it to end.
Now, there's so much backlash when it comes to it's not our war, because of so many different things. But it's true though. Okay? It's true. Of course, if you can help, you should help. Which is just the way it should be. You should always help. But to help to the point where now you are not really helping, you're actually causing some sort of detriment to your own people or self. Now that's where it has to be, okay, now I have to kind of put a pause on this, on the help, because now I'm causing too much problems for myself, because then now I'm going to be needing help from you, and it's going to be a big cycle. It's just not going to work. Okay? I understand that. It isn't the US's war. The US should help. It isn't the war of EU, but the EU should help. It's just the way it is. It's war. It's fucked up. War never changes. But I understand. If nothing happens, if it's no room for peace talks, then I understand the whole concept of, you know what, fuck it. We've done our best. We really tried. We're moving on. You just want to waste time. You clearly just want to fight. We don't want to. We don't want to sacrifice anybody else. When you want to come to some sort of peace, let me know. Yeah, and I understand, and I kind of get where he's come from.
I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand, who's at the White House for us this morning. So, Natalie, what progress would the White House like to see before they decide to abandon these talks with Ukraine?
Hi, Vlad. Good to be with you. Well, as you heard, the Secretary of State...
Sorry. Was that Pokemon cards in the background there?
Hi, Vlad. Good to be with you. Well, as you heard, the Secretary of State signal there, it seems that he, at least, is running out of patience for these negotiations, which have been going on for, he said, the past 87 days. So we know that he made those comments leaving France this morning, where negotiations with European counterparts have been underway, talking about a framework or outlines of a proposal. We know that talks will reconvene, or are supposed to reconvene next week, according to our Margaret Brennan. But his comments also come in stark contrast to comments also made today by the vice president, who is visiting Italy, and said that interesting things have happened over the past 24 hours with respect to Russia and Ukraine negotiations, and that he is optimistic for an end to.
How many of you are optimistic that this shit's gonna end anytime soon? Really? Because I was optimistic even when Sleepy Joe was at the helm. I was optimistic prior to Donald Trump becoming president, because constant, it's going to end day one. I was optimistic a week into it, a month into his presidency. And now it's like, it's like, really? Yeah, it's going to end, sure. I'm just waiting till one day to receive some fucking letter in the mail that says, congratulations, you are drafted into the U.S. Army. I'm like, oh, okay, fuck. There you go. There goes all. If you don't see me doing content anymore, my ass is in fucking the Ukraine fighting a Russian. So, it's so... Do I believe it? No, not really. There's so much stuff that's happening, like, so many things that are promised, but it's not just... You can't just give it to Donald Trump, because, yeah, he promised things that did not pull through. But that's like every president. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, previous, Barack Obama, both terms. Like every president, before they come in, we're going to do this, 100% guarantee going to do this. When they become president, yeah, I learned a couple of new things, can't do it, sorry. Better luck next time. It's like, then don't say it. But then if they don't say it, chances are they won't become president. So it's like, Are you saying it for the greater good? Are you saying it because you want to become the most powerful person in the world? How crazy are you? Who knows?
The war. But again, these comments from Secretary of State Rubio seem to put pressure on both sides to try to move closer to this deal. Again, he said they want some answers in a matter of days, not weeks or months.
Matter of hours.
So Ukraine has said that it signed the outline of a minerals deal with the U.S. How could that impact these talks?
Yeah, well, we heard President Trump yesterday say that a minerals deal will be signed next week. Treasury Secretary Bessent also said that it's substantially similar to what's been talked about for the past couple of months. What we know has been signed right now is, according to Ukrainian officials, a memorandum of understanding for an economic partnership and the establishment of an investment fund for the reconstruction of Ukraine. Details, we don't have exact details.
Okay, so what that is, so for people that were like, what is that's a lot of words. Sounds good because I heard reconstruction and Ukraine, right? But so what that is they're creating a business deal, okay? That is the best way of putting it. They're creating a business deal with a war that is currently going on and a country that is currently destroyed to all hell, which is Ukraine. And there's probably going to be, you're probably going to see some companies, probably the companies who donated the most to some individuals' funding. Could be, let's just throw it out there. It could be Donald Trump's, it could be whoever's, okay? So it's a business deal. The people who probably donated the most are probably going to be the ones who get part of that business deal, okay? Who then, for those nice words of reconstruct the Ukraine, will then reconstruct the Ukraine. So those people will give, those companies, I say people, but it's organizations, companies, nonprofits, blah, 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 blah. Those places, those entities are going to make a fuck ton of money because of the war on the Ukraine. I don't find that right. I don't find that people make profits during wartime something that should be allowed. I don't think it should be allowed at all. If somebody has died, or if there's, conflicts going on and you're profiting from the conflicts, there should be an internal investigation done regarding all of it. Because now the Ukraine is not going to be the Ukraine anymore. It's going to be a bought out country that's going to be probably split up. States and cities are probably going to be split up into just different organizations, like the ones who helped build it. Like if let's just use a huge organization that builds stuff like BlackRock, who does everything. If they build let's just say half of South Florida, okay? Let's just use that as an example. If they rebuild half of South Florida, they pretty much control half of South Florida because all things you rent go through them, everything you pay goes to them. They own it, okay? They own it. So that's what it's going to happen in the Ukraine. And now, not only are the Ukrainians not going to have the Ukraine anymore in that sense, but now their whole work is probably going to be comprised of doing like manual labor, hard shit jobs for the minerals deals that are being put on the table. So, like, I don't see anything good happening in the Ukraine in the future. Really. Like, unfortunately, regarding if you signed a deal, if you don't sign a deal, it's still bad. You just got to figure out which is going to be the lesser of both evils. Sign the deal clearly, because now at least your people are not going to be dying. But unfortunately, they're probably going to be forced into some sort of cheap labor of some sorts or something like that. Something will happen. Somebody's going to take advantage of people that need jobs. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. And that's what's going to happen.
Of what is in that memorandum or the source of revenue, but it appears that is putting everyone a step closer to the signing of this larger minerals deal that, again, we've been talking about for weeks and weeks, subject to those contentious negotiations.
Mm-hmm. All right, Natalie Brand for us at the White House. Natalie, thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. You know what? Don't thanks for you ad, but we got the point of it. Isn't that insane, though? Isn't that absolutely insane? Wow. Wow-wee wow. And I think it's next, what is today? So in a week, apparently they're signing that deal. In a year, we'll see if what I say comes to fruition. In 2 years, we'll see if there's slave labor happening. Probably even sooner than that, much sooner than that, I'd probably say, happening in the Ukraine. Which I could probably see happening in the Ukraine, unfortunately. But that's just what I think. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? I could just be a crazy person who doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I just watch CBS News and other news networks without actually knowing at all what they're saying. Who knows? Maybe that's where it is. But that's not what I think. Let me know what you think on the comments below. Subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification. It's 3 things, takes 2 seconds. And if you want to leave a comment just to tell me something, that'd be even better because I read all the comments. It's insane. I'm a weirdo like that. But I love you, and I'll see you on another video. Bye-bye.